Compliment of the season. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies in the building.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, should I start with Nima today? You're looking as if you're thinking.
Looking very straight.
Eh? What's up? How are you, Nima?
Nima and I are not talking.
Today, it was a very restful weekend. Talk about dear is not talk to me. No, I'm a bully. I'll bully her into talking. At the list of my problems. I rested well this weekend. Yesterday it was wonderful, and then we had our own PTA meeting and closing of the term in our school
on Friday.
It was really nice. Our 2-year-old got report cards.
Scribbling
and stroking.
Scribbling and stroking.
I took time writing, and you can still not call his teacher's name. He calls her Dano instead of Oloko Dano. But it was nice. It was really nice. Well done.
How are you doing, Topsy?
I was very good. This festive season is...
you didn't go to the awards last
time? No, she went to the award.
It.
I wanted to wake up early because I'm trying to structure my week. So I know that if I hang out late on a Sunday night, I would be destabilized in the morning. So, and then I had enjoyed myself on Friday. Hey, God, I was at hair holding party. Hair holding, Tony Lumelu, I got a selfie, but I'm not posting. They spent money, Murayo. It was a themed Jam Nation. That's like reggae. It was a reggae themed. I think all the reggae caps, all the Rasta caps in this Lagos. Finished there because everybody complied with reggae cap, reggae t-shirts.
What did you wear?
I just wore a black dress and my Christmas green hat, and and everybody was really having fun. For me, I saw something that really I felt really special. Tony Lumelu is by every standard a multi-billionaire. And he was shaking everybody, he was hugging people, he was touching, as in he made an effort to go around. You know, like when it's your wedding and you go and meet people to greet them.
That was by invitation now. So
yes, it was by invitation, but
everybody there was invited.
He did not know me. He shook my hand, took picture with me. And he did that with everybody. It takes humility to do that, and it was really touching for me because I feel that we get into this space and we feel popular and we feel a bit people are intruding into our space when they ask us for pictures. We never even scratch the surface of how big Tony Lumelu is, and if you can take that, we should learn that.
That's fantastic. Well done, Tony Lumelu.
I had fun.
I met him somewhere at some random place, and he was actually just as humble. You know, he didn't know me, and he sat down with me and he paid attention. We had a conversation. So you're right. I think he's a pretty humble person. How you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing good. I went for the Future Awards Africa.
Yes, we were all supposed to attend, but unfortunately...
So I represented us all. I went with my brother. I got there a bit... Yeah. Oh, thank you. I was wearing it again. It's a Jane Michael dress. And she was one of the designers of the event. So it was just right that I should wear one of her dresses. Anyway, so I went with my brother. When I got there, Obi Ezekwesili was speaking. You know, she said a lot. You know how she is now. She just speaks well and just inspires you. Fela Durotoye was there as well. Then there was this group, fintech group, that got an award. Right. The average age is 25. There are three of them.
I know fintech.
I think you know this piggy bank. Have you heard of the piggy bank? So those two boys and a girl came together and came up with that. They're doing business of over billions and billions of naira with that piggy bank app. It's just amazing. Yes, 25 years old kids. Amazing. I was saying to my brother when we were down, I was like, so did you have fun because of the music? He was like, I was more inspired than having fun, to see young people doing great things.
And that's what the award is about, celebrating young
people who are doing great stuff. And that's Debola Wellness and entire team, and Chidi, they're all doing such an amazing job.
Well done. 14 years.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Monday. Lots of things trended. The Yaba women trended over this weekend. We're not ignoring that story. We're going to take it up hopefully tomorrow, because it's one of those protests that made us really proud to be a woman, because women are speaking up. So we're happy. We'll take that story tomorrow. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll breeze through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right. It's also festive season, so we're not going to dwell too much on all these political stories. So just skip it. I beg, I'm not interested. The Punch. Resign since you can't fix economy, Atiku tells Buhari. Picture here of a broken down petrol-laden tanker. That's Sherry Ogun State through, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, actually. Lagos policemen respond to distress call 2 hours after robbery. Buhari clocks 76 today. Jonathan Akeredolu orders hail him. Africans have underestimated their potential talent, says Osinbajo. Ogun APC undecided over allegation against governorship candidate. And government records 3 trillion revenue shortfall in 9 months. And congratulations to Punch as they dominated the Dame Awards, winning the Newspaper Editor of the Year awards and others. Congratulations to Punch. We have to celebrate them because I have to celebrate them because they were very kind to me. All right, let's talk about the policeman. Who has that story?
Our president happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to you.
Our grandpa.
Happy birthday
To you. Anima, you 76, so.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so the paper
Happy
and the
birthday to
story.
our president.
The robbery. Who has that story?
The robbery happened in Ojodubega area, Efualaye Street. One of the residents made a phone call to the emergency number and got picked, spoke to someone who explains to him that they've dispatched an RRS team to come and help them, but the RRS team didn't arrive until an hour and a half after the robbery had taken place. A man that just relocated from his house in Isheri to that area because of traffic said that was his first night in the house and his car was vandalized. They took out his headlamp, the side mirrors, the brain box of his car, and that they were saying, the robbers were chanting that they were hungry for blood. If you come outside, we are going to shoot you. We've heard stories of police officers coming late after the robbery has taken place. But considering how close that location is to a police station, I was a bit surprised. I think that they should investigate what delayed the response of the police to get in there.
And it says that the RRS got there an hour and a half. But when talking to this person, he said that the police arrived 20 minutes after he made the call. So I was just thinking, was it the RRS separate from the police, but police got there 20 minutes after?
Okay. So I think they are a bit separate. I think they're probably different.
Yeah.
Any other story? Nobody else took another story. Last one is our president's birthday, so we sang for him. Congratulations. I know Adagbao.
Amen.
Moving on to The Nation. 2019 APC fumes as PDP alleges plot to rig election. Picture here of our president at the Wells Carlton Hotel, an apartment in Asokoro, Abuja. Let's see what else is happening here. How Nigeria can access Africa's $12 trillion by Obasanjo. The Nation sets record at Dame. Punch says they're setting record. Nation says they're setting record. Okay, anyway, they all did well. Pressure on CJ to probe governors. Jonathan, SGFs, Fasomi, others greet Buhari at 76. NLC to governors puts 30,000 naira in budgets. Okay, we're still waiting for NLC and the federal government to agree on the language. So they are telling the government right there to put that 30,000 naira in the budget. Although the federal government is yet to get back to us on the figures that have been agreed. Let's talk about this pressure on CJ to probe governors.
A human rights group is pressuring the CJN to invoke Section 52 of the ICPC Act, which empowers him to set up an investigative panel of an independent lawyer to investigate every allegation against public office holders, vice president, president, governors, and deputy governors, and and all ministers like that. Even though these people are covered by Section 308 of the Constitution, they are immune. He is empowered by that act to put together that committee to investigate them and send that report to the National Assembly or state houses of assembly to enable them fast track it. So the special case of Ganduje was a special highlight for them, insisting that he could also invoke that powers and do something about it.
Let's take one last story.
Yes,
I don't think you mentioned it. The robbers that were caught. The reason I want to do this is so that we can also see places where the police, take
Okay, so suspected female robbers in gun duel with police. Is that the story?
So this is in Anambra State. There were 10 robbers that attacked a hotel.
Right.
A call was made to the police officers. They got there. The robbers locked the gate so that the police do not get in. So there was an exchange of fire. 2 of the robbers were female. They were caught. All in all, 6 of the robbers were caught. And, I feel that's a good story.
It's
so we have
one.
A few of them still on the run, and they're asking for, if you have any information on them.
Let's move on now to Daily Sun very quickly. Obasanjo knocks FG over African Trade Pact. Says Africa will leave Nigeria behind for non-signing of agreement. Nwodo, stop discriminating against the Igbos. November inflation rises to 11.28% from 11.26% in October. Twist in Ogun APC crisis, a lawyer goes to court over Abiodun's academic record. 2019 elections will determine Nigeria's fate, says clock. Any story here? Nobody took any story?
Yeah,
Ogun State.
Okay. Which one do you want?
Wodo.
Yes. Stop discriminating.
Yeah, so he was just talking in Lagos State at a, sorry, let me get that.
Take your time. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was speaking this year's Igbo cultural celebration in Akure, in Ondo State, and he was saying that he would like to see a Nigeria where an Igbo man is being, elected for office, like in a Yoruba state or Hausa state. He talked about when he was in university in a Yoruba-speaking state, he got the president of the SUG, even though he ran against a Yoruba person. So he's saying that, he's encouraging Nigerians, that he feels that the Igbos are most marginalized, so he's encouraging Nigerians to just be, let's just be each other's brothers.
From the East, because we hear a lot of stories that from that, that a lot of non-Igbos would never get a position in that side. So we should start from that area.
Set the examples.
So they set the example.
They can start by just giving political appointments. Lagos has proven that we are cosmopolitan. Lagos has given political appointments
so
to
Anambra, other states should
let them also do the same.
Okay, moving on now to this day. Access Diamond Banks sign agreement to merge. Reconciliation challenges delay APC campaign launch. Atiku asked Buhari to resign over state of economy. Yes, who has the
So finally
Access
putting
Bank?
our worries to rest. There's been rumors that Access Bank was taking over Diamond Bank, and
another paper said they bought it.
They actually bought and took it over. But the people, they were dousing the rumors, saying that they were rumors. But now they've signed a pact, and the CBN was present in works, starting the process of taking over the bank.
My money is safe, right?
This will, of course, bring Access Bank to number 2. So
you've been through this space several times, so you should know your money is safe. But I think very soon we're going to have just about a few banks. I think that's the idea.
Yeah, but it's better to have few
strong
banks.
We used to have only First Bank and Union Bank when I was growing up, and now Free Bank. So I think we should go back to
I was trying to send a payment to my aunts, and I realized that all the accounts she gave me was First Bank, Union Bank. I was like, auntie, can't even use the new generation.
She doesn't know what to try.
But the thing is, truthfully, our monies are safe. There's the policy from Solido and all of that ensures that no matter if a bank folds up, your deposit is still safe, which is good.
Let's move on to Vanguard. So nobody should be scared. Vanguard, INEC drags EFCC, ICPC, others into 2019 polls. Access Bank acquires Diamond Bank. We just talked about that. Ogun polls disqualified PDP. Sorry, let me take that again. Disqualified Dapo Abiodun. Lawyer tells court. Lagos 2019 anxiety over Ambode's intentions as Tinubu speaks. Kidnappers on rampage in Ondo. Abduct lecturer, couple, and school children. Jonathan Abibi Akume all hail Buhari at 76. And Buratai must account for spending on Lafia Dole. Crocodile smile others, says Serap. All right, so
should we do Buratai quickly?
Yes. Buratai, very quickly.
So Serap has written Buratai insisting that he should, within 14 days, under the Freedom of Information Act, disclose the cost of the money spent in these interventions that happened under the military or the operation, whatever that they had, and that if he doesn't do it within that period, they would, of course, sue him under that. And
pretty much for the major headline, INEC was just telling the EFCC that they want to conduct a free and fair election, so they're asking smartphones to be banned at the polling units because of all this issue of vote buying. And they're saying that they're going to be working with the immigration to recover PVCs from foreigners because they are aware that foreigners do have PVCs.
To recover 700
so
already.
I don't know how much they can recover.
They've been able to recover 700 already, and they're worrying that they have more foreigners carrying our PVCs in Nigeria.
The truth is, it's not something we should discuss like this. The process of registering for the INEC card, for our voters card, is already flawed in that you cannot prove that you're a citizen of Nigeria. There's no, the proof is not, it's just you
don't
claim that I'm from this state.
Yes,
you're not required to prove. So
then the INEC is, of course, drafting EFCC and ICPC to investigate all the election funds that have exceeded the limits that the act.
So the APC is supposed to have a meeting today as part of reconciliatory move within Lagos State. We're expecting that the governor would be present and that Tinubu, who is the elder state person will speak up. The party leader in Lagos State will speak up concerning going forward. There's speculation that the governor of Lagos State currently isn't funding the campaign or supporting, but that he's saying he will support, but his actions are not supporting the candidate for APC. So we're waiting for...
So we'll see what happens today. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'd like to hear your own views about the vice presidential debate. Was it inspiring? Did it ginger you to say, yeah, now I have an idea who I'm voting for? Or were you disappointed? We'd like to hear your views. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So over the weekend, actually on Friday, candidates vying for the post of the vice presidency in the upcoming elections got together for debate, which was both interesting yet heated. At the Nigerian end of the session, lots of people were calling for the merge of a new party to be formed as soon as possible between the current vice president and one of the contestants, former Governor Peter Obi. So I'd like to ask your own thoughts on the debate. Lots of mixed reactions happened. People were wondering, okay, was this what I expected? You know, because we know the main candidates, and we judge the party based on the main candidates. But then you now speak to the VP and hear the vice president speak, and you're wondering, am I really voting for change? Am I voting for a new thing? What does new mean? Does it mean mediocrity? Does it mean people who are actually ready for this thing? So I'd like to hear, we want to open our phone lines almost immediately to know what people's thoughts were on the debate. But I'd like to start with you ladies. What do you,
let me first of all doff my hats for the vice presidential candidate of Mogali.
Kingsley Mogali.
Yes, Uma Getso. I have never seen or heard about this woman, but that woman can debate. But then again, this is a debate and we cannot take away our biases, which is why I was being careful. We cannot take away our biases. Watching the debate. What's
your own bias? Because
my bias, of course, your judgment of this debate, of course, will tilt towards whatever sentiments or bias that you have.
And what's your own sentiment?
Leave that side.
And we know, but we want you to say it's your own one.
But you know, when you have been a debater all your life, you cannot come and be caught.
We know where you stand
on a debate. So we knew who stood out. Let's just leave all those figures. Call Nigerians. Let us know what your take is. But then, after post-debate, we now had figures flying around, finding out that, you know, some people that had revered were making wrong figures and all that. I was like,
yeah. Peter Obi came in when he started. I mean, you could tell that his strategy was the economy. Yeah. To prove that, listen, I have the figures, that because he understood that one of our major issues here, current issues, is the economy, the Nigerian economy. So he focused quite a bit on using the China template, on the various figures he was throwing out left, right, and center. And that was how he started. And it was almost as if our vice president was on the defense, like, okay, how do I show that this what you're saying is wrong? But it was really difficult for our vice president to counter argue Peter Obi. Yes,
it wasn't difficult.
My own biases, I can say mine. I admire our current vice president a lot. I think he's a very intelligent person. Yes. He's well spoken. I like people that can speak their minds without necessarily being dramatic about it. So I listened to him. From Peter Obi's point of view, it was good to have someone that could go like back and forth with Osibajo, because I didn't think the other candidates were doing much of that. For the ladies, I felt that it took them a while, you know, to get their confidence. Yeah. And that's the thing, which is good. I mean, you know, we haven't done this a lot. We haven't done this many times. There haven't been many women on that level. So I understand the butterflies in our tummies, but it just shows that we can do it. And when we do it, by the end of the debate, a lot of them were sounding, you know, the others were sounding really confident. So, and if they do this more and more, you know, more ladies are watching from home and thinking, okay, I can do this. I can do.
Okay, so we're looking from that angle. Yes, I see. But people were saying that our vice president kind of lost it at the subsidy debate. That he didn't. That was totally off. You know, because we assumed that, they're taking off subsidy, and he was trying to tell us that no, obviously they're still paying subsidy.
Obviously, that's a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact. But their assumption at the time was as if they had taken off subsidy.
Because they told us they've taken it out.
So go ahead, Tokwe, your thoughts on the debate.
Yes, so for me, debates don't run the economy. Debates don't change anything. You can be a fantastic speaker. English is your mother tongue. You speak it very well and be eloquent. And then when it comes to execution, you fail woefully. So let's not just all get riled up by this debate and the successes or failures of the debate. However, people were thinking that VPs are not important. Why are we talking about VP? Let's wait for the president. Let's see our president. Happy birthday to you, sir. Debate. And let's hear him, you know. And I'm like, the VP carries a very, very important role.
Very important.
Whoever is our president heads the economy. So whoever is on that position must be able to articulate his economical plan for this country. Yeah. And when it comes to everybody that spoke, I would still give it to the VP for Mogalu. If she was articulate on what she was going to do, she had her policies clear. Please, it was a bad taste, ANN. Your candidate just...
Oh, that's
Fela Dutoye is vice president. Also, it was the same thing for Galadima. Also, just very disappointing.
Was that still Galadima didn't plan for this
yes,
thing?
It wasn't planned.
But
let's go back to but let's go back to what Peter Obi said. And I feel that when you are planning to occupy a position of power, you should have your facts and figures right. You can't come spewing numbers that are so far off. Yeah. Nigeria have 2 million cars when we actually have 11 million cars plying the road. The numbers, if you fact checking him, was almost like 80% false numbers. So, who did the investigations for him? Right. He needs to really, really talk to his team, because you must come. He was a confident person. I love him. I feel that he was a fantastic governor.
Very confident.
He should have come with more facts and figures. But on the petroleum subsidy, I feel that he had a lot of facts, and our current administration
to see when in opposition or counter oppositions, government and arguments, that we're able to agree and then disagree. So you might admit certain things are happening and say they are not enough. Rather say nothing is being done.
I like to hear our viewers actually. I hope the phone, because I wanted the phone lines to actually be open very, very quickly so that we can hear people's thoughts.
But are we allowed to do that? Are people allowed to do that during debates? Because the debate is to make sure that I finish you,
Miriam,
and I
that's
show
the
you.
mistake. So you do debates and say, I must finish you, so then you spill out wrong figures or you lie entirely, which is wrong. You can admit that certain things, I see what you're doing, but I think you could have done this better. I see what you're doing here, I think you should have done, rather than say you're not doing anything at all. Economy zero. Oshibaju has headed an economic team that some people have admitted personally to me that it has enabled their businesses grow. And some people, most times when you read on social media particularly, everything is no, nothing is happening.
But a lot were impressed with Peter Obi's preparedness. He seemed like, yes, I was ready. Yes,
because he wasn't prepared. Preparedness would be that you base a statistics of 2 million how many 6 million unemployed Nigerians based on the statistics of the MBS.
No, he said there are 87 million unemployed. We're actually about 34 million.
And you have a body that takes figures, that takes account of these statistics. You should have based, that's preparedness.
But there was one,
figures to.
But the good thing that comes out of this, a lot of the times when we have debates and conversations like this, people tend to just throw numbers out and there's no one to fact check. So there's a new thing now, I feel. Nigerians are now understanding the importance of checking facts.
Which is great.
So now we will not have people on social media just throwing out numbers and then you are running with it.
We should be slightly a bit more disappointed in the fact that the presidential candidates were responsible of picking their vice presidents. So is it that they didn't check properly to know who had enough competence for that position? No, especially for people like Obi Ezekwesili. I mean, it shouldn't be just because I want northern votes and I want to not just get any northerner from any place. Somebody who actually knows. I was particularly disappointed because I'm rooting for Obi, like from start. Yeah. I've been rooting for Obi. When I saw the vice, I'm wondering, okay,
I know Mariah, even before this debate, when she picked her candidate, I mentioned it here. I said, for me, I felt her candidate, she was trying to play it safe. Okay, pick a man, pick a northerner, I want someone who wants to stand for the third force, to shake the table and shake it properly. And then people who, are tired of the way we've always done things in the old ways. We want a new, a third force. So put two strong people that are two unlikely people.
There was this quote that Peter Obi said, you cannot leave your shop and be chasing criminals. And then Oshibaju clapped back. It was like, if you allow criminals to steal everything, there will be no shop.
You know what I think that answers that. I need to run off. But what I got from this is that whoever the third force is going to be has someone that has a bit of experience in the government. Because people, when they're a total outsider, you just might not be the right person because these people, there's so much stuff that needs to be done. So an insider like an
fight against corruption is closing shop. That's why Nigerians called out on social media that tell us what China is doing on corruption. If you're basing your statistics on China's figures, tell us what China is doing.
China is killing them.
And then you people will come and say they should put
military. We have to go on a break. Unfortunately, I really wanted to open our phone line for whatever reason, calls incoming. But it would have been nice to hear people's views on the vice presidential debate. We're waiting for the presidential debate, which is next year, January 19th. And I think TVC is also planning a big one. So look out for that. We're also planning a really big major debate.
I'm looking
It's been
forward
nice
to
to
that.
hear our President Buhari's birthday. That's our birthday request. Okay? Plan and
Speak to
prepare
us.
so that we know if you are our next president. Let's go on a break. When we come back, so 71 members of the House of Reps brought this issue of the new parliamentary system, and it went through the first reading. And I'm wondering, what does this mean? When we come back, we'll discuss it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, a bill to return Nigeria to the parliamentary system of government passed its first reading at plenary. According to records, about 71 members of the House of Reps sponsored the bill in an obvious move to restructure the country. Can this parliamentary system be the next move for us? Joining us on the show is the President, Private License Security, Dr. Davidson Ahime. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
You can call us on 070-806-68014. You could also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We're hearing there are issues with the phone line, so maybe we should try the social media instead. Right, so when we heard this news of the parliamentary system change last I think it was the last week, Thursday or Friday, you know, that we saw was past the first reading, like we started getting scared that, so that it's being considered. Because a lot of people have believed that democracy isn't really working for us. People have come up with all sorts of options that maybe we should go back to days of the monarch system, or, you know, we should have our own, you know, clear African, a type of system that is customized for us. That we've tried various systems that hasn't worked. In your view, is this the solution? Do you see this as a possible solution to helping to govern this 36 states of this federation?
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this morning. The parliamentary system of government is just one form of government in the family of democracy, and it is not really a bad form of government given our multi-ethnic nature, multi-religious nature, and especially given that these are the fault lines, you know, that have, you know, prevented us from building real nationhood. So it's a good system. However, I would like to say here that it's not really the system that is the problem. It's the actors. The actors, be it presidential, be it parliamentary. Nigerian leaders need to be patriotic to the hilt to be able to deliver the dividends of good governance and democracy.
God bless you, sir.
To the people.
So God bless you, sir, because that statement for me, it's pivotal. When we talk about restructuring, I've said countless times on this platform that restructuring isn't the problem. It's the implementation and the people involved in this. Yes. So when we talk about taking a different turn, which is a major different turn of decentralizing. This is one major characteristic of parliamentary, is that the presidency is not as powerful as what we have right now. And we already see that we have so much power centered there. Don't you think that in actual fact, it can be a solution to the problems currently facing Nigeria?
Okay, yeah, because of this clamor for restructuring. No, I think it's good, you know, because when you vote in persons into the parliament, it is the members of the parliament that now pick up who the prime minister should be from the majority party in the parliament, or if they form a coalition. If they can't get a majority, form a coalition. The members now pick who the prime minister will be. And in that light, I think a parliamentary system will work for us very, very well. And these issues of restructuring probably will put...
But that's the basis of that's the basis of the disagreement. Okay, now we have a proper presidential system where these bodies are totally separate and then can check each other. But when you have a parliamentary system, they're not exactly separate.
They're not distinctly
separate.
Yeah.
So largely you have the people in the houses of the legislative also determining what happens in the executive. We had practiced this system before. And for some reason, it didn't work. We went to presidential, we copied the American system. Why now? Why? That's the basis of the argument that, we need it to be completely separate so they can check
Each other.
Well, you see, Nigeria is a very complex country. And the pluralistic nature of the country has affected the way our politics is run. I believe that the clamor for a return to the parliamentary system is probably born out of a requirement for, fair play across board. You understand? There is a feeling on the part of some persons from some parts of the country that some persons from other parts of the country are having what you call the
national cake.
National cake, you can call it national cake, or having what you call a notion of ownership. Of leadership in this country. And probably that's why the clamor is getting stronger.
Okay, for me is we have a problem. And we have tried a parliamentary system, we've done military government, we have here presidential. And I feel that we do honestly have problems with how we see religion, our different ethnic groups. Even though, personally, I do not think it's important. It is not important that when a person's name has been put on the list of who should be, head of a particular sector, or, it should not be determined by what his religion is, or what her religion is, or where she's from. But the thing is, the average Nigerian, it's something that bothers them. It is important to them that they see someone that they can relate to, either through religion or through where they're from, at that level. So the question is, can we do a mixture? Can we customize? Is there a way to do it? Let's look at it. These are our issues, even though they are not important, but they're important to our people. Do you think that there's a way we can come up with something that's mainly
not foreign,
that's for us, yes, that addresses our problem?
Okay, like I said earlier, we are the threshold of political development that can either make or mar our country. 2019 is going to be a defining year. And the question you just asked, comes to the forefront when discussing politics in 2019 and beyond. Nigeria has come a long way after independence, and we have still not been able to build a nation. An integrated, cohesive nation. And this is as a result of politics played along primordial lines. We have to have a complete departure from the politics of the old to the politics of the new. A new Nigeria, carve a path for a new Nigeria. A Nigeria where, though your tribe and your tongue and your creed may differ, all of us will stand in brotherhood. And that can only be achieved when you have a leadership that can inspire the people to supreme effort. A leadership that is all-encompassing. A leadership that breathes Nigeria, thinks Nigeria, that puts Nigeria first.
Right. Let's go on the break. When we come back, we'll talk about this new Nigeria concept, because everybody's clamoring for a third force. And we're thinking, okay, is it really possible? So if what you're saying is we need leadership, visionary leadership, then we need to really see who out there are the options we have. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we know you're running for office. We know you're running for the highest office on the land.
Yeah.
And I know that you're not here for campaign. You're here just to discuss the topic. But I would like to know, when you talk about the new Nigeria, we all desire that new Nigeria. But the truth is that even from the debates last weekend, you're almost like thinking, okay, are we really prepared for the new? Is the new ready for what's at stake? Do they have a full understanding of what needs to be done? Because from what we've seen on Friday, it's almost as if there's the old that know what's going on, and there's the new that would desire to know, but they're totally clueless. So in your view, do you really think that Nigeria is prepared for people like you running for office?
When you refer to last week's vice presidential debate. You had the old, and according to you, who know what's going on, but you could tell from the ramblings of the old. Now for the new, those young women and the Alhaji that were from the new parties, they did well. They did well considering that they had not had experience in government before. And I must tell you something. The word new, as it connotes, means new. It means newness in ideas, fresh ideas. It means newness, energy, bringing energy to the tough, you know. It means newness by way of charting a new course, a different course from what had obtained in the past. And what had obtained in the past is what you call failure to a very great extent. That is why we are looking for a new thing. That is why Nigeria is here today. Nobody wants to reinforce failure. So a new thing is what the Nigerian people desire.
Okay, let's take a few tweets and I'll come to you.
Nemesis of bad government says, on a more serious note, there's only one government system that will work for this country, and that's the Swiss system of government. Let's stop fooling ourselves and customize theirs, study it and tailor it. What's the Swiss system of government? I'm hearing it for the first time. We're used to the normal. What kind of government do they run in Switzerland?
I don't know.
I don't know. What if he doesn't know?
Well, I think
It's hard to come in with something because Nima mentioned something very vital when we're discussing our hot topics about the vice presidential candidate, which is that you don't make it look like all the previous governments did nothing. You know, because I hear you keep saying that out with the old has failed us, in with the new. The point is, it hasn't been entirely bad. There's been mismanagement of what we have. So we can't just discard and believe that everything will become new, because no singular party can change the entire reform. What would be the solution, considering the circumstance on ground, knowing that you would have to still deal with some of these old guys? There is no way we can remove every one of them currently. What can we do?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. You elect a new party and a new face into the highest office in the country, then this transformation begins. There's always what you call it's an English word. Replacement by, the people begin to see when the executive, the president, commander-in-chief begins to chart a new course. The people begin to follow in that direction. You understand? The direction that is set, the path that is set, for the different other political organs to follow. They begin to follow in that direction. So there has to be the political will to follow.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yes. There has to be the political will to follow on that new course and to drive the energy, to drive, the leadership at all levels along that course.
There's something that the new always get. There's a question, that's the question of, what have you done before? Where have you been, Do you have the political experience? And I feel that with the new, a lot of them just wait until every 4 years to just appear. But in between, what have they been doing? You don't have to be president, you don't have to be a governor, to do. So what are the things that a new party needs to do in between elections to make itself relevant?
Yeah, a new party needs to begin to advertise itself, begins to, do what you call advocacy, begins to engage with the grassroots people who are the majority of Nigerians. You engage them, do voter education, and do programs on their own to alleviate the sufferings of the people at the grassroots level. That way, the party begins to gain recognition with the people. I think some of the new parties have been doing that even before they came to vie for position.
Unfortunately, we have to round up. Do you have any tweets you want to take on this so that we can round up?
There's a tweet.
Yes.
Andrew is saying, we all know that the USA helped liberate Europe from Nazi occupation in the World War II. Yet most of the European nations adopted the parliamentary system. Why? Because of the gridlock of the presidential system and not allowing smaller parties involved in the polity.
Olaoluwa says, we started with parliamentary system and switched to presidential system, yet we're still lacking behind. What we need is credible alternative revolution. Let's give the youth that chance.
Unfortunately, we have to round up now. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank
for
you.
sharing your views on this. And as I said, the Yaba protest was really apt over the weekend. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we're going to try to bring as many people as possible to help us to actually discuss this matter. To be part of our Christmas edition, please call 081-361-83378. The number should be on the screen right now, so you can join the audience. You might get some gifts. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.